Sleepaway Camp, the original, versus the sequels. For many, the 1983 movie Sleepaway Camp was just a cut and paste copy of Friday the 13th, a slasher set in a summer camp with young people being picked off by an unseen stalker via first-person shots straight out of an Italian giallo, minus the atmosphere and style. But I think Sleepaway Camp takes more risks than its critics give it credit for. The main character, the shy and almost mute Angela, is introduced as a deeply traumatized child. Years before the events of the film, she witnessed her father and brother die in a very preventable boating accident. We meet her living with her eccentric aunt Martha and cousin Ricky in a middle-class home. At first, Martha just seems like an oddball, but by the finale, we learn she's more mad scientist than doty aunt. Unlike the Friday the 13th films, Sleepaway Camp doesn't punish its victims for generic slasher sins like teenage promiscuity. Angela's killings are a direct reaction to extreme bullying and predatory behavior. In the first act, she's trapped by an adult male who attempts to sexually assault her. And throughout the movie, she's relentlessly tormented by the camp's mean girls. Angela's icy stare at the other girls, seemingly for no reason, becomes a source of discomfort for her peers. The truth only comes out in the final scene. Angela is actually Peter, her deceased brother, who was forced to live as a girl after Aunt Martha decided she wanted a daughter. The reveal culminates with the infamous moment where Angela is discovered naked, standing over a body, hissing, and visibly male. The shock here functions exactly like the twist endings in other slashers. Jason leaping from the lake in Friday the 13th, Miss Voorhees as the killer, meant to rattle the audience, not make a political statement. Sleepaway Camp was designed as a one-off, and the Angela twist was its mic drop moment. The later sequels existed for a different reason entirely. The 80s straight-to-video horror boom, where established IPs guaranteed rentals and sales. In these follow-ups, Angela is reimagined as fully transitioned, talkative, and a staunchly conservative, a camp counselor who murders campers for being immoral. By the end of the Reagan era, she had morphed into a slasher embodiment of reactionary values. Today, we'll look at those Sleepaway Camp sequels and ask the question, were they actually better than the original? To do that with me is the man from Parallax Views. He is the JG Michael.
Hey.
You need to plug something, JG?
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to plug something. I have a friend, Fred Olin Ray, who's a big influence on me. Big B-movie filmmaker. Did movies like Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers and can I say hookers on here?
You can say hookers 4 times if you like. Yeah.
Hey, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, Biohazard, all these great B movies from the 80s. He has an Indiegogo right now for Jacko 2. And if you don't know Jacko, it's a very weird, super low budget movie from the 90s that sort of has cult fandom now. Mm-hmm. But Fred is making a sequel to it. And you can go to Indiegogo and just type in Jacko 2 Blood Moon Rising, make a movie with Fred Olin Ray, and you'll find it there. If you like B movies, support Fred's work. He has a biography that just came out, and this new movie he's working on is going to have Sybil Danning in it. Jacko 2 Blood Moon Rising, also produced by William Greffy, who did the great snake horror movie Stanley back in the 70s. So if you're looking for like supporting indie cinema, go to Indiegogo, Jacko 2 Blood Moon Rising. I really support Fred's work. He's a huge inspiration for me as someone who loves like B-movie and independent cinema. So I hope you guys will check that out. I wanted to plug that because they're really trying to raise funds for this movie.
Well, make sure you send me the link, and then we'll put it in the description of this show as well.
Awesome.
This movie for me, these movies for me, were kind of part of my horror movie inauguration, if you will.
When did you first see Sleepaway Camp?
I saw Sleepaway Camp when I was about 11.
Okay.
It came on cable one night. I had no idea what it was. other than it sounded scary. And anything scary that came on, I think it was either Friday or Saturday night on one of the cable networks, I think it was Cinemax, was generally going to be a horror movie. And my mother worked like crazy overnight shifts, so I had a lot of alone time as a young person. So I got to watch these movies, and I first watched Sleepaway Camp. And again, not knowing anything about it, there is no internet to tell me about it. There's no blog sites to tell me about it. It wasn't talked about that much in horror magazines of the day. Because again, I saw it in 87, 80, maybe 88, 89. And when I saw it, you know, it's a movie that you can follow, right? It's done well. People are dying. Bad people are dying.
There's a lot of like teen sex comedy hijinks too, as well as the slashing.
There's a lot of boobs. There's a lot of boobs.
Yeah, there's that scene where they let a fart on fire.
There's more boobs in two. If you know me personally, then you know my fashion sense. A lot of it comes from the Sleepaway Camp. One, I'm not afraid to wear short shorts or midriff tops. But but beyond that, when the movie ended, I was blown away, and I remember going to school and trying to find anyone that knew this film, because this wasn't a popular movie. By the time we're all watching, if you're of my generation, by the time you're watching horror movies, Freddy is popular IP, Jason is popular IP, and Michael Myers is about to be Texas Chainsaw is about to be popular IP, but definitely Freddy.
So this is like what? Is this 87 for you or
88?
So right. Michael's about to make his big screen comeback with Halloween 4. Yeah. So
you know, I just want to set it in a time frame so people can really wrap their minds around it. And we're starting to get into the sequels.
What do you think of the disco theme, Angela's theme from Sleepaway? That's like an earworm for me. When I look into your eyes, it comes as no surprise. You're just what I've been looking for.
What I love about these movies, if you really get into, especially the stuff in the early 80s that were still made for cinemas and drive-ins, they actually had scores and soundtracks where, you know, hey, Johnny's got a band. Why don't we pay him a couple bucks to make it?
There's actually some memorable bands in the sequels that did the stuff for the soundtrack. Dead Milkmen, the great punk band, is in the second movie, I believe.
The sequels are definitely of a certain time where, again, post Nightmare 3, we learn that heavy metal fans are big horror fans. And it also feels like, and we can get more into this if you like, the sequels feel like these were made for a certain type of viewer, right? Also, all bad kids look like they just stepped off of a Slayer video set from 1988. Everyone's got a leather jacket, the kind of motorcycle jacket, fingerless gloves. There's a lot of metal. There's a lot of metal in all these movies, which was another big factor for me. But going back to the original, that is a movie of its time that you don't really get anymore. Like you said about Angela's theme, there's a song about the movie in the song. That is a very early 80s thing. A very early 80s thing. Even movies that were more popular with bigger budgets, like what is it called? Just One of the Guys. That is there's a song the movie starts off with that's explaining to you the movie as you watch it. Very, very common. But it's over by the time the second wave of these horror movies come into play.
Right, and the MPAA is going crazy at this point.
This movie is also before PG-13. You're right, JG. Yeah. This is way before PG-13. So when I found out that there was a sequel to the movie, which I saw at a video store, I lost my mind. I was like, I got to save my lunch money, which consisted of like, don't eat for a couple days, and then make the trek down to the local Blockbuster by this point.
Now, what did the VHS cover look like? Was it the
other woman?
It was the woman that had nothing. See, Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3 are crazy. Unhappy Campers and Teenage Wasteland are crazy because the VHS box art. It has nothing to do with the
Nothing
movie.
to do with it. There's like, that's Jason Voorhees. There's a Jason Voorhees mask and like a Freddy glove.
See,
on
that
a
part
woman.
makes sense, but the actress is on the covers.
But the
It has
action
nothing
is
to do
not,
with
she's
it.
not in the movie. It's just a hot woman. But you know what else I heard? Speaking of women not in the movie, I Spit on Your Grave, the butt.
It's Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. Did not
Yes.
know that. Didn't know that till like maybe 3-4 weeks ago.
I thought I would have told you that.
No, I didn't. You didn't tell me that. I didn't know that. But back to Sleepaway Camp. When the sequel comes out, and I rewatched the sequel this morning, and I was watching part 3 before we started the show. When the sequel hits, and I did watch the, I was like, okay, how are they going to do this Angela thing? Because that's the whole thing in part 1. It's the reveal. And as I was watching part 1, it took me back to Friday the 13th part 1. And I don't know if it's the same for you. When you watch Friday the 13th part 1, and you don't know about Jason Voorhees, his name is mentioned, I think, once at the end when she's telling you the impetus for why she's killing these camp counselors. It's because of her son, Jason. And you don't even know about Pamela because I don't think you see her at all in the movie. It's all from her perspective, if I'm not mistaken, right? The kills. Not all the kills, but a lot of
I
it.
think you see her at one point, but yeah, they don't show. Yeah.
So watching Sleepaway Camp, they're taking a lot from that movie, but one thing that's missing is killing teenagers for bad behavior. And I don't agree whatsoever with the trope of the moralizing in these movies. The reason why teenagers get killed for bad behavior is because you can show titties. It's all about titties. Nobody cares about why they get killed.
You know what's weird? Not to interrupt you, but in a weird way, if you were to watch, see, Friday the 13th is actually a ripoff. It's a movie that rips off Bay of Blood, the great, not Dario Argento, Mario Bava.
Yeah.
The great Mario Bava movie.
Yeah.
And that movie, if you watch it from beginning to end, is much more moralizing. Not moralizing necessarily in a right-wing way. It's sort of commenting on like parental neglect.
Mm-hmm.
But that movie is actually much more moralizing than Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, I think, is weird because it's like, yes, the people who have sex get killed, but it's
for
more
titties,
so because it's all they're thinking about is sex, and the one girl who can't get laid isn't thinking about sex, so she's more alert. You know, yeah. I'm not sure that there's a moralism to it. I mean, Sean will say he didn't intend moralism in it, you know. And I mean, they're also making movies with a lot of boobs. So
that's all. Look, we have to be honest and stop that. When you write an entire book about these tropes and the male get, look, a lot of that is bullshit. Watch one of these movies.
Even the woman who wrote the essay on the male gaze is kind of annoyed with how that term has been used.
So many people are like, all the tropes. No, these people have to sell a movie. You know how you sell a movie? Hey, Dame, you want to be big in Hollywood? You want to show those tits? Because the tits come out by the time you get to Sleepaway Camp 3, the unnecessary tit is the opening scene where this girl is in this kind of gross room with dirty underwear all over the place.
Oh, it's amazing. She's in those leopard print panties. Oh my god.
And then she's like,
and then the milkshake. She has the milkshake tattoo.
Milkshake is tattooed on her, and she has another thing that's actually kind of interesting is this is before, I shouldn't say before, but before the ubiquity of fake boobs, where like only a certain person with a certain kind of money could pay for them. So she has regular small boobs. And the movie opens up with not a large chested woman, but it does open up with boobs. And it's like, if you like tits in the last one, we're going to give you so many more tits. We're going to find reasons to give you tits.